O deputado Nikolas Ferreira participou de um importante podcast nos Estados Unidos, onde chocou o apresentador com seus números nas redes sociais e expôs os abusos do STF e do governo Lula. Assista até o final para entender a repercussão dessa entrevista.
And we were at CPAC a couple days ago, 2 days ago. Eduardo Bolsonaro was there. He had a chance to speak. There was a lot of talks about Brazil. And then while we're there leaving, I kind of want a little bit of feedback from you here. An hour after we are done with the interview with Jair Bolsonaro, we're sitting there, hey, 38 years, cool, poisoning, Lula, you're seeing all that stuff being talked about. What can you tell us about what's going on there?
So first of all, for me, it's an honor to be here, Patrick. Mike, thank you for what you're doing for Brazil. I talk about politics day by day in Brazil, but in Portuguese. So if I make any mistake here, I'm sorry. I'm trying to improve my English there. If I make any mistake, okay. So what's happening in Brazil? We have a Supreme Court. We are fighting against tyranny, censorship, especially from Alexandre de Moraes. And they try to silence the greatest leader of the right conservative wing in Brazil, that is Jair Bolsonaro. They say that he tried a coup, that he tried to kill Lula and the vice president, but we know that the one candidate of presidential elections was Jair Bolsonaro. He was stabbed in his belly by an ex-socialist affiliated party, and now they are trying to put him in jail for a fantasy coup. He was here in U.S. when it happened the 8th of January. People entering the Congress was a bad day for Brazil, but they are not any terrorists. They did, of course, some small crimes, but they are getting 17 years of jail. Like any other corrupted guy in Brazil, they get this for jail in Brazil, for corruption, for robbery, for anything. So we know that they are doing this to these people because they were wearing green and yellow t-shirts. If they were using red in Brazil is for the Labour Party, for the socialists. If they were using red, maybe red, they would be free right now. So they are persecuting us for everything we say. Like for now, I'm being sued because I said that Lula is a thief and he should be in jail. So we are facing a tyranny in Brazil. It's very hard.
Can you say that right now? So the fact that you're saying he's a thief and he should be in jail, you flying back to Brazil, is there any risk for you that anything could happen or no?
Yes, of course. Being sued, criminal for saying that. Me as a deputy, I can say everything, and as all the Brazilians should say, though, but we are not able to say the truths in Brazil.
Now, your story, for some people that don't know, Rob, if you can pull up the clip, you were telling me this when we were together, this is you at 17 years old, right?
Yes.
This is a school where I think it's called PUC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a Catholic university.
And this is how you went viral. By the way, just so everybody knows, Nikolas has got 17 plus million followers just on Instagram. He posts a clip on Instagram. It gets 1 million likes, not even 1 million views. This guy's the biggest sensation there. While we're there walking around, everyone's saying he will be the president in the next 8 years. And the people want him to become the president in 8 years. But explain to us what happens here, because this is where people learn about you. You're 17 years old in this clip.
Yeah, so just to let you know, guys, I came from a very poor neighborhood in Brazil called Cabana. I don't have any politicians in my family. I think I was the first crazy one to enter in politics. And I am graduated in law by the Catholic University. And at the time of 2015, 2016, there was an impeachment in Brazil that we took out Dilma's ex-president. And then everyone went to the street to go to the protests. And then, of course, me as a young guy, I did the same. But I started to post some videos in the internet and started to go viral. This one is the first one. In that stage, there was a lot of socialist leaders. And then I was working at my office, and I heard that the one guy called Leonardo Boff, it's a guy that he, how can I say that? He put the socialism in the church, in the churches, the Catholic churches in Brazil. And then I heard that he was in there. I said, I got to say some things right to his face. But as a student, I couldn't. So I told a girl to come over and I said, I'm a huge fan of him. Please let me talk. And then she said, oh, okay, you're a student. Okay, go there. Of course, she thought that I was a leftist. And then I began saying, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because of you, I'm not socialist. And And I started to punch him with my words, of course. And then it went viral. And this was my first video that went viral because I was only 17, 18 years old. I was entering in the law.
So this school
university.
you're going to, is that like is this a liberal school? Is this a far left school or no?
Yeah. So it is, but it shouldn't. Because it's a Catholic university, but it is a very liberal university.
Rob, can you play that clip while we're not going to understand what he's saying. I just want him, the audience to see when he walks up.
I'm so skinned.
Can you play that? That's
incredible. Olá a todos, meu nome é Nikolas Ferreira, eu sou estudante de Direito da
So you're thanking him right now.
E, em primeiro lugar, eu gostaria de agradecer mesmo a todos.
I'm appreciating Leonardo Boff. I'm saying thank you because you made me choose a side in my life. You made 2 interviews in 2003 saying that your theology is not necessarily Christian. In the second interview, that he said that communism was the worst thing in the world. A person said that, and he said that it was wrong. So how I know that how left is a hypocrite?
You're saying this to his face.
Yeah, I'm saying through his face.
You can pause it right here, Ron.
Yeah.
So you play this clip. This goes out. Is this the first time Brazil learned about you? Like prior to this, they don't know who you are?
Yeah, I think it was the first time. They didn't know who I was.
And at this point, do you have any aspirations of getting into politics or not yet?
No, I was only into the protests, making some videos. And I wasn't running for anything. I was just 18 years old. I couldn't even run for city councilor. You have to be 21.
In Brazil, private texts to family and friends are fast becoming as targeted by counter-disinformation techniques as public-facing posts on social media. This escalation of fact-checkers' interventions and sharing limits on text has been introduced through new speech constraints on popular encrypted apps such as WhatsApp, Telegram, and Rob, can you go a little bit higher so I can read the last sentence? These developments are being funded by millions of dollars in U.S. tax. Nikolas, did you feel this and did you see this happen in Brazil?
Yes, of course. Our superior electoral court, they made a lot of decisions that was bad for Bolsonaro. For example, when Alexandre de Moraes announced that Lula won in the superior court, there was another judge called Benedito da Silva. He just went through him and said, mission given, mission accomplished.
Right. You have that clip, by the way,
Yeah,
Rob.
and until now, this judge didn't came to public to say what I mean was that. He didn't say that. So it was very strange. There is another judge in Brazil called Barroso that after the elections that Bolsonaro lost, he said, we defeated Bolsonarismo.
This is the one Rob played?
Yeah, this is the video.
Solicito que Suas Excelências, o senhor ministro Ricardo Lewandowski e ministro Benedito Gonçalves, solicito que conduzam ao plenário o excelentíssimo senhor presidente da República Federativa do Brasil eleito, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva.
Now he's announcing Lula as the president. And then this judge comes to him and says, mission given is mission accomplished. So what he means about that?
Mission given, mission accomplished.
So he was working against Bolsonaro. So he's a judge. He should be impartial. So this is one judge. It's the same. You can stop the video right there. This is the same judge that said that. This is Lula. And after that, he's receiving, I don't know how you say this in English, but he's giving some taps in his face as he was his best friend. So this is the kind of judge that's saying that Bolsonaro is a tyranny. He is a person that he's giving misinformation to Brazil.
But at this point, because there's a lot of Telegram groups that you're a part of, right? That the communities are talking to each other. are you seeing what you can and can't do?
Yeah, for example, I think that in other social medias, it was more, how can I say, it was clear to me that something wasn't coming to me. So there was some information that if you Google it, for example, you would find. There are some others information that you try to find and it was harder to find. So, for example, in the elections, you couldn't say that Lula had Maduro as a friend. You couldn't say that. You couldn't say that Lula was friend of Daniel Ortega from Nicaragua. So you couldn't say that. You couldn't say that Lula was supporting abortion, for example. I was sued. I was multa. I was fined for like 3,000 reals just because I made a video saying that Lula was supporting abortion, was supporting drugs, and I was fined because of that. So there's another minister of the Supreme Court called Gilmar Mendes that he gave an interview like maybe 6 months ago that he said that Lula is in presidence because of them. Like any other country that gives politics seriously, it would be a scandal. But in Brazil, it's normal because the Supreme Court of Brazil is not more a judiciary power. It's a political power. So in the elections, for example, Bolsonaro, in our Independence Day, in 7th of September, he had a huge protest, like 2 million people in Brasilia, in São Paulo, and then he couldn't use these images for his network. He couldn't use. It was crazy.
Just to show how many people were in attendance, you guys couldn't show.
Yeah, he couldn't show that on TV. And for example, in the Labour Party, was saying that Bolsonaro was a Hannibal. They were saying that Bolsonaro was a pedophile. They were saying that Bolsonaro would end up the férias dos trabalhadores, the holidays for the workers. So it was all that kind of disinformation, and anything happened with Lula and his friends. For Bolsonaro, anyone that, for example, questioned the voting system would be fined. My social media was down for 1 month because I just questioned the voting electronic machines. So my lawyer doesn't have access to the process. My social media just went bad because of political pressure, but not a judiciary process. So that what happened in 2022. We all thought that, of course, there was a interference in Brazil, but we didn't know where did it come, how they did that. But now it's clear that, as Mike said, that if it wasn't USAID, maybe Bolsonaro would be the president of Brazil today.
Nikolas, for you, when you're hearing what he's saying, I'm assuming you see half of the stuff you already maybe have seen, or you know the judge, you're in the country, you go through it. But for the people, okay, today, Americans are listening to you, Brazilians are listening to him. That was my idea, for them to see the both messaging, to see what Brazilians are going to hear from Mike, to be inspired. What can I do, right? And from your end, for Americans to say, I love this guy, I need to be involved, I want to, share this information with other people. How can we do something about it?
Yeah, what Mike said here, I think for all the Americans, it's very hard to understand, but it's the truth. You are paying taxes, and this taxes is going to interfere in our politics in Brazil. And it's not for the good, it's for the bad. If you see like the other page that the other one that was training Barroso, the think tank that was training Barroso.
Yeah, those 3 ladies, Rob. The 3 ladies right there.
The Winston Center, the NDA, like all of these, they are training our judges. Like to
you want to go to slide 1, by the way? I don't mean to interrupt. But
no problem. Yeah, like to censorship us, Does
that look familiar?
Yes, it does.
That's the USAID SEPS program.
Is this something the judges want, or is it something that they're being told to do, though?
So that's why these guys, if you hear again the Barroso speech, he says that we are winning so far the war because we don't want to happen what happened in 2018 again, this misinformation. So He says that Bolsonaro only won because of the fake news and disinformation, and that's why they need to combat this, because Bolsonaro and Bolsonarism, they are a threat to democracy, but they are the threat to democracy. So your taxes are paying the tyranny in my country. That's what's happening. So these guys are interfering in our politics, and for the bad. As I was saying, I don't want them to interfere in nothing, either in right or neither in left, because we want a free country, a sovereignty country. And that's why day by day they try to censorship us. For example, if you put the other slide that says the rating unapproval of Brazil, of Lula's, yeah. This thing, it's from 14 February of this year. Approval rating of Brazil's Lula's falls to 34 for 35. And this is the reason of that, it's mainly because a video of me that I did on Instagram. I posted a video on Instagram because in Brazil, informal work is very widespread. And Lula government, as all the socialist government, they try to collect more tax from people. And then I made a video. It's up, go up more. This first one, I made this video and saying that
8.8 million likes.
Yeah, it has.
Can you click on to see how many views this video got, Rob?
Wow.
Just click on the numbers of likes.
Yeah.
It'll show you if you click on that. Let me check it here.
I think you need to go out.
Middle comment.
No, press on Reels.
Yep.
And then you go down, you're gonna find it. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
327 million.
Like this video, I think it's the most viewed video in 24 hours in the whole world. And that happened because all Brazilians were very unsatisfied and still unsatisfied with Lula government. And then they did.
What are you saying in the message?
Because the government tried to implement a measure to tax informal workers who move up 5,000 reals. It's less than $1,000 in their account. So anyone who was an informal worker and made this, who moved this in their bank account, would have the government controlling what he's doing in his bank account. So this small business would be very, how can I say, hurted.
You know what? How long is that video, by the way? How long?
4 minutes.
So in the video, what are you explaining to them?
I'm explaining that the government wants to do this with the small business, that Lula is spending a lot of your money, a lot of your tax money, that the judges, they don't put their bank accounts to open as they want to put the small business. And then I'm saying we need to stop Lula, otherwise he'll stop Brazil. And this video made the government back down, and the government took this
What's
measure.
the date on that video, Rob?
Sorry?
What's the date on the video?
It's 15, 5 weeks ago.
It's 15 January.
Yep, right down here, January 14th.
14th.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah, so 1 month after Lula approval rating got down because of this video. And that's why they try to censorship us, because with this video, I passed Lula of followers on Instagram, like or the majority of my videos. They had more than 1 million views. And that's why they try to push us down and say that we are threatening to democracy, because we talk to the people. As I said, I came from a very poor neighborhood. People listen to me, and I'm just speaking the truth. And then after this video, all the Lula's government said that they were going to sue me, that I did fake news, I did disinformation. But in the video, they couldn't find any lies, any fake news. So they couldn't do anything with me, but they threatened me a lot. So my security, I need to walk with more security in Brazil because of this. Because I'm so dangerous. You can see. Look at my face.
You're very dangerous.
I'm very dangerous to democracy, and there are a lot of traficantes, drug dealers in Brazil. They are being sold. Yeah, there are a lot of drug dealers in Brazil. They are being released by the Supreme Court, and they don't go against this kind of crime organization, but they move the whole world to put me, Bolsonaro, and others in jail. So people in Brazil are just desesperated by this kind of measure.
Right now, is the confidence there that Bolsonaro, because you're 28, you cannot run till 2036, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't run.
Yeah.
I need to be 35.
Right now, it's one of two things was the conversation. One, lower the age to run, which that's not the topic right now. You know, they may want you to run for Senate because that's one way to help, right? That's kind of one of the things we're talking about. So if they're not going to lower the age, and they have them right now not being able to run for 2026, and if they have control of all the three different branches of, like you got Supreme and House and Senate, what can you do for them to allow Bolsonaro to run? Because if he does run, what's going to happen? His wife's going to be the face, kind of like what's going on with Venezuela, where Maria Corina Machado ran with, I think, what's the guy's name? Edmundo Gonzalez, I think that's his name.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Would that be kind of how they would do it? What do you think can happen?
I really don't know what's going to happen in Brazil. When I talk to Bolsonaro, he says that I'm the candidate and that's all. I'm going to run for president.
He's saying that.
Yeah, he's saying that. So, and I asked him, what should I answer if someone says that maybe other candidate, maybe other person? He says, I am running for presidency. So I really don't know what's going on. I just don't think that the system will leave him free to run. I don't know that he will be able to run for presidency in Brazil. I really don't know, because they have a lot of power in Brazil.
Yeah, so
and we can do much, because if you are in a normal democracy, that you have the executive power, the legislative power, the judicial power, okay, it's fine. But me as a congressman, I don't have any power today. I just only have my voice. So that's why we're still speaking and giving speeches, because this gives hope to people. This defends the moral, the principles, the values of the Brazilian people. But that's all we can do. Like, we, of course, come here to U.S., Elon Musk shared a lot of videos of mine. It helps a lot. Mike is doing such an amazing job. But that's all we can do. I'm not saying it's less thing to do, but it's all we can do.
So, but
we can't do much.
To me, okay. So if this thing's at from 80 to 34 to 24, you got 329 million views. I don't know if I've seen a video with 329 million views. And you're from Brazil. U.S. is a bigger country. I honestly, I don't know if I've seen a video with 329 million views, 8.8 million likes. And I'm talking, the only thing I guess I saw is when Messi's post got 77 million views on Instagram when he won the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Messi winning the World Cup is what I've seen, right?